The Missed Call, Episode 4, The Spread, Soft Rain. Electrical hum. Slow breathing. Jonah hadn't slept in 3 days. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw that mirror, Father Emmanuel's reflection whispering from the other side, mouth forming those same words over and over again, "Don't miss the next call." Now, Grace's house was sealed off again, this time by the church, not the police. But Jonah couldn't leave it alone. He had the footage, he had the proof, and most of all, he had questions. Soft thunder, distant sirens. He sat alone in his small apartment, watching the same clip for hours, the final seconds of his recording before everything went black. On the screen, Father Emmanuel reached for the phone, then static, then that whisper, then nothing. But each time Jonah replayed it, he swore the static changed, almost like a voice rearranging itself in the background. He boosted the audio, filtered it, slowed it down, and beneath the crackle of interference, a faint message whispered through, "Jonah. Answer." He froze, his blood turned to ice. "No," he muttered. "Not again." Light switch. Room hums. His phone was on the table, face down. He could swear he hadn't touched it, but now the screen was glowing. Unknown number, ringing. He backed away slowly, shaking his head. "No. Not me." The ringing stopped. Then a new message appeared. "You filmed it. Now you keep it." The phone turned off by itself. Transition, soft wind. Morning sounds. By morning, Jonah was at the church, the same place Father Emmanuel once served. But now, the chapel was empty, doors locked, candles melted down to wax puddles. He called out softly, "Father Emmanuel." No response, only the echo of his own voice bouncing off the walls. He saw Emmanuel's Bible lying open on the altar, pages fluttering as if moved by an unseen hand. Jonah stepped closer. A folded note was tucked between the pages. He opened it. "If the calls reach beyond her house, the line is broken. Find the origin. Find the first answered call." Jonah whispered, "The first answered call." Sound cued, wind shift. Hospital ambience fades in. He returned to the hospital, where Emmanuel had been treated before disappearing. The staff remembered him, but something felt off. The nurse said quietly, that night. Every phone in this building rang at once. Since then, patients hear voices when the lights go out. Jonah frowned. What kind of voices? She hesitated. Children. Crying. Whispering names that no one here knows. Then she added, "You shouldn't be here. The phone lines aren't safe." Jonah forced a shaky smile. "Neither is the truth." Soft static. Flickering lights. He slipped into Emmanuel's old hospital room. The bed was empty. Only the faint outline of a cross drawn on the wall remained, made of ash. On the bedside table, the same phone from Grace's house sat in a sealed plastic bag. Jonah reached for it. As his fingers brushed the surface, the screen lit up. Incoming call, unknown number. He froze. It was impossible. The battery had been dead for days. But then a voice broke through the speaker. Not Grace, not Daniel, not the priest. A new voice, cold, familiar. "Jonah. You opened the line." He whispered, "Who are you?" The voice replied, slow and deliberate, "I am the silence between the rings." Then static, then another voice cut through, a woman crying, "Help me. Please." Jonah's heart stopped. That was Grace. He yelled, "Grace. Where are you?" The voice gasped, fading in and out. "He's spreading, Jonah. Through every phone that listens. Through every call that's missed. Don't let him find another." Then the line went dead, heartbeats. Echoing footsteps. Jonah stumbled back, shaking. The phone's screen went black. Then flashed a new message. "The line never ends." He turned toward the door, but stopped. Something was written on the wall in faint letters, scratched into the paint. 213. Beneath it, a second message. She answered again. Jonah whispered, "Grace." Then, from down the hallway, another phone began to ring, then another, and another. Soon, Every room in the hospital echoed with that sound, hundreds of phones ringing in perfect rhythm. Jonah clamped his hands over his ears and ran. Storm outside. Heavy breathing, he burst out into the rain, gasping for air. But even outside, the sound followed. Car alarms, cell phones, street lights flickering with every tone. People on the street stopped, confused, checking their pockets, looking around. And then Jonah saw it, across the street. Inside a store window, every phone on display was ringing at once, all showing the same name, Grace Okafor. Jonah whispered, "Oh God." A man nearby answered his phone, curious. He spoke softly, "Hello." Then screamed, the line cut out, and he vanished, gone, no body, no trace, just the faint echo of his voice whispering back through the static. She answered. Jonah ran, night ambience. Rain slows, he made it back to his apartment, drenched and shaking. He slammed the door, locked it, threw his phone into the sink, and turned on the faucet. Water ran over the device until it died. He backed away, trembling, but in the dark reflection of the kitchen window. His phone's light turned on again, and from the sink came a faint vibration, then, a voice, "Jonah." He turned slowly, the phone was glowing beneath the water. A message appeared through the wet screen, "Don't miss the call." The apartment lights flickered, every screen, the TV, the laptop, even the street lamps outside, began to flash. 2:13, Jonah whispered, "No, not me. Not again." He picked up his camera, his voice trembled as he spoke into it, "It's spreading. It's not tied to one house anymore, every phone. Every signal. It's all connected, if you hear it ring, don't answer." He looked back at the sink, the phone now silent, dark, then it buzzed once more, "Unknown number." Jonah whispered, "Please stop." But this time, the voice wasn't Grace, it wasn't Daniel, it wasn't the priest, it was his own, Jonah. "It's time to answer." Static builds, he dropped the camera, the recording flickered, and the final frame froze, showing Jonah staring directly into the lens, tears streaming down his face, whispering, "He's calling me next." Silence. One final ring echoes faintly in the dark. The camera Jonah dropped still recorded, its lens cracked, tilted sideways, only silence filled the room, broken by the faint hum of electronics. Then, a low tone, a single, lonely ring, the red recording light blinked, and a voice whispered through the static, "Jonah. Are you still listening?" Cut to outside ambience, rain, cars passing, thunder. 2 hours later, the police arrived at Jonah's apartment, door locked, windows sealed, no sign of him, only the camera remained, still rolling, and a phone floating in the sink, screen glowing faintly with those cursed digits. 2:13. The officers tried to turn it off, but as soon as one touched it, his radio screamed with interference. Then every phone in the building began to ring. They left the place untouched, filed the report under malfunction. But the footage didn't stay hidden. Newsroom ambience. Keyboard clicks. Quiet voices. 2 days later, a local journalist named Amara received a mysterious email, no sender, no subject line, just one attachment, footage_2_13.mp4. She hesitated, then pressed play. The first thing she saw was Jonah's trembling face, his voice cracked with fear, "If you hear it ring, don't answer." Then his eyes turned slowly toward the camera, and the video cut to static. Amara frowned. This can't be real. But then her phone, lying beside her keyboard, buzzed once. Unknown number, she froze, the call stopped, then a text appeared, he said the same thing to Grace. Sound cue, low hum builds, electric static pulsing. Amara leaned back, whispering, "Who is this?" No response, just another text, "Check the background." She replayed the video. Slowed it down, and there, behind Jonah's reflection in the dark window, a faint figure stood, tall. Shadowed, holding something glowing near its head, a phone. Amara whispered, "Oh my God." The screen glitched, her computer flickered. And for a second, her own reflection in the monitor mouthed the same words Jonah had spoken, "He's calling me next." Transition, street ambience, footsteps, light rain. That night, Amara drove to Grace's old neighborhood. The Okafor house still stood there, silent, wrapped in police tape and prayer symbols, but as she approached, she saw candlelight flickering inside. Someone was there. She pushed open the door. The smell of damp wood and ash filled the air, and there, in the living room, sat Father Emmanuel, alive, pale, weak, but breathing. "Father?" she whispered. He turned slowly. His eyes hollow. "You shouldn't have come." Low heartbeat. Thunder rolled. Amara stepped closer. "They said you disappeared." "I did," Emmanuel murmured, "but not far enough." He held something in his lap, Grace's letter, torn in half, and on the floor beside him, dozens of phones were scattered like offerings, all silent. Amara swallowed hard. "What happened to Jonah?" The priest's voice cracked. He answered. "Twice." Her breath caught. "Twice." Emmanuel nodded. "When you answer once, he finds you. When you answer twice, he keeps you." Amara shuddered. "Who is he?" The priest looked up slowly, whispering, the voice between every lost call, "He feeds on what's left unsaid." Then he handed her the torn letter piece. To stop him, the line must end where it began. Amara frowned. And where did it begin? Emmanuel's hand trembled. The first signal came from the crash site. Sound cue, rain growing heavier, static rising. Amara helped the priest stand. They stepped outside together into the storm, heading for the old highway. Every streetlight flickered as they passed. Phones in shop windows rang in sync, and faint voices echoed from the gutters, whispers repeating the same phrase, "Don't miss the call." They reached the intersection, the one where Daniel Okafor's car had crashed months ago. The wreck was long gone, but scorch marks still stained the asphalt. Emmanuel stopped. "This is where it began." The first answered call. "The night Grace's brother died." Amara whispered, "What are we looking for?" The priest raised his rosary. "The source." The line itself. Wind howls. Distant thunder. A phone lay half buried in the mud, old, cracked, waterlogged. But when Amara picked it up, the screen glowed faintly. 213. Then, a single notification, new voicemail. The priest whispered, "Don't play it." But she couldn't stop herself. She pressed the screen. Static burst out. Then Grace's trembling voice, "Father. If you're hearing this, it means he's in the line. Don't answer. Please." Then another voice, cold and deep, "You answered." The phone burned hot in her hand. She dropped it, gasping, as smoke rose from the wet ground. Then dozens of other phones, hidden beneath the soil, began to ring all at once, their lights blinking through the mud like trapped souls. Chaos, overlapping rings, whispering voices, rain pounding. Emmanuel shouted, "He's merging the lines. He's using every missed call to cross over." The priest raised his cross high, voice trembling as he prayed in Latin. Amara covered her ears, the sound unbearable, until finally, one voice cut through them all, Jonah's. "He's not done, Father. The next call won't be for you. It'll be for her." Amara froze. The phones went silent. Then one final ring echoed from the shadows. She turned. A single phone sat on the hood of her car, glowing bright red. The caller ID read, "Unknown number. Call returned." Emmanuel whispered, "Don't." But Amara stepped closer, tears in her eyes, and said softly, "Grace." The ringing stopped. Then, from behind them, a child's voice. She answered again. Thunder crashes. Static swells. Screen fades to black. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more.